Hey, everybody. Really exciting chat today with a visionary and leader at Intel. And of course, we're focused on all things AI. Nuri, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for being here in these busy times and taking some
Thanks for having
time
me. I know
away
I'm a
from
big fan
your.
of your podcast, so like you really unpack great topics on this show. So I'm glad to be here as a host for this one.
Well, thank you so much. And before we dive into Intel and the amazing work you're doing, maybe introduce yourself, a little bit
Yeah,
about your career journey and what led you to focus on AI and marketing at Intel.
absolutely, absolutely. So it has been like 1 year for me at Intel. I'm the vice president for AI marketing. And like AI is the boom movement for the industry right now, and I'm glad like Intel is gonna be the great leader in this era, and I'm happy that I'm leading that marketing charter here. Before joining Intel, I was at Microsoft for 17 years. Like 10 years on the Azure business. Again, like I try to catch the waves. So when I joined Microsoft, I was leading the Windows business. I did it quite a while, and at that time, I also worked with Intel. But after that, it was the early days of cloud, and then I have been lucky to work on a great team, and then it led up to a global marketing job. So I led the AI marketing, and then data and AI marketing, and finally Azure marketing at the global scale at Seattle, Washington.
Well, what a wonderful background. Would love to dive into that sometime. I'm sure there's some real gems there. But jumping to AI at Intel, you're doing so much from the device side right up to the data center side and everything in between. Maybe describe all the AI innovations that are underway at Intel and the kind of challenges you're addressing.
Absolutely. At Intel, we try to really help our customers to achieve their business outcomes. And when it's the topic of AI, everybody wants to innovate fast because all of your competitors are trying to be in the AI game. And at Intel, we really want to provide that acceleration with the open approach that we have. So that's number one. I will share the details on this one. But the second one is the total cost of ownership. With the high rise of AI, let's say, interest in the market, especially with some GPU companies, like we have seen a lot of profits in the short term because it's like
Mm.
the rush to the gold, rush to the AI. And at Intel, we want to provide that total cost of ownership to our customers. We recently shared our like comparison in that sense as well. So we are 1/3 of the price of our competitors, so which is really
Wow.
aggressive in terms of pricing. And we just did announcement last week at Computex Taiwan. I was there, and our CEO Pat Gelsinger was there. In a nutshell, we provide end-to-end solutions from Intel. The first one is our AI accelerator, Gaudi. Gaudi is a great product. It really helps the customers to accelerate their data center journey, both on-premise or on the cloud, with doing all the large language models and generative AI models, again, openly and really cost-effective way. We also provide our processors on the data center because not everything needs an AI accelerator or a GPU. You can
Mm.
also use like CPU for general purpose AI. And again, you have been in the industry for a while. Like AI was here for a long time, like machine
Mm.
learning, all this vision APIs, like these were our life. But again, Gen AI made it really visible to everyone with like tools like ChatGPT or any like GPT like large language model. But also, I think what's unique to Intel is the AI personal computer, AI PC. It's a beginning of a new era. I don't know when you upgraded your PC last time, but I believe many of the listeners will upgrade their PCs in the next 2 years because there's
Mm.
a new processing unit now available for the devices. It's called the NPU, Neural Processing Unit. I think everybody's familiar with the CPU, the Central Processing Unit. But on top of that, as Intel, we introduced like a new concept. We brought like NPU, CPU, and GPU all together in one chipset. It's our Intel Core Ultra device, and it really unpacks a lot of opportunities for the industry. We already work with like key industry players like Microsoft introducing Copilot Plus PCs. We work with Dell, Lenovo, HP, and many others, Acer, Asus. But the future will be a lot of about AI PC, and I'm glad that we already shipped 8 million devices so far this year, and we are on track to deliver 40 million AI PCs at the end of this year. So this is really like more than the competition doubled combined. So like, I mean, Intel is definitely playing a scale game on the AI PCs.
Well, it's an exciting time, and I definitely need that horsepower as a content creator
Exactly.
and podcaster, live streamer, etc. You've been talking about AI in the future for over a decade at least, and writing about it in many books. It looks like the future has arrived. But what's next in the next year, 2, 3? Is it too hard to look out? What are some of the key trends and predictions that you see even a couple years ahead?
Absolutely. I think Gen AI created a big hype in the industry, and definitely it's worth it because if you look at 2016, where the Google engineers published the transformer model, like it was a breakthrough in the industry because like adding parameters, adding new data to the context, it made it smarter and smarter. Like we are discussing GPT-5 today, and like again, it will be way better and way like crystal clear on the information gathering, not only on text based but like video and audio generation is becoming like a de facto for the industry. But I think what I'm excited personally is AGI, because in this journey, artificial general intelligence was a big dream about like the future. So can the computers be more smarter, knowledgeable, and be aware of themselves? And looking at all the data points, we can clearly see by 2028 or by 2029, which is like 4 or 5 years ahead, not a huge lifetime change. We will see AGI in multiple places. So again, it will potentially happen in a couple of labs. The question is like, how, as the Homo sapiens, will know AGI is there? Because like it's really hard. Like, how do you, for example, today evaluate if GPT-5 comes and it's AGI? Because if it's really a artificial general intelligence, it will understand that like we are trying to break it and really understand if it's AGI or not. And then if that's a smarter let's say platform than a human being, so it will be really hard for us. So it will take some time for us to understand when we reach AGI, but the potential with that is amazing. So I'm always like on the positive side of the change. I believe this will unleash a lot of opportunities in the many industries. Even today, I mean, if you look at generative AI, it's already breaking through a lot of things. Last week at the Computex, for example, we shared like how Samsung is driving an edge AI computing using some of the vision capabilities on top of a large language model and detecting the cancer cells almost 3 years before they emerge. Like this is going to definitely increase the lifespan of us and really predict some of the things before it happens in a very precise way. But I'm super excited. The next generation will be adaptive AI. So after generative AI, we will see, today you have to train the model, fine-tune the model, and really do inferencing to get something out of that. The next thing, which will be a like 2025, 2026 topic, will be adaptive AI, where we will see all this training and fine-tuning is automated by AI itself. So this will also, it's a path to artificial general intelligence. But I'm really excited about where this is headed, not only in data centers, but on the computers, personal computers, and also edge devices. And you can count any mobile device, any like glasses or any wearable will be enabled by AI, and that's a really futuristic scenario for us to enable new things which we never experienced before.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and yet the applications are so real today. It makes it so interesting from the devices we carry to the services we use. You mentioned industries. You kind of touched on healthcare and health technology and wearable devices. That's so exciting. But the implications are profound, aren't they, for every industry? Automotive, obviously, with autonomous and self-driving modes, through to uh, smart homes. Do you think almost every industry will be touched by AI
Absolutely. I
technology at
think
some point?
AI will drastically change every industry. As you said, we have seen the early signs, like a self-driving car is like a really good example, because like gathering all the data from the vision sensors and really automating some of the processes at the edge. Like, I mean, you don't have a like you have nanoseconds to make a decision before the car crashes. So that speed and velocity and like all the decision making at the edge is really critical, and we are seeing great like results of that already. But the models are becoming more precise and targeted, and especially like in all industries, as you said, like retail will definitely change. I mean, the experience that you have in the stores, that hadn't changed like too much. I mean, we had the brick and mortars, we have the online experience. Both of them will completely change. Like we will have more immersive experiences, because some of the things at Microsoft, I worked on HoloLens for a while, but I think the virtual reality and augmented reality will become more real in this AI world, because the problem, like a couple of years ago, not like many, but like 5 years ago, when my team was working on HoloLens, like you had to have a huge processing power on the client, which is the device itself. And we see it with a couple of Apple Vision Pro devices today. Like you had to have a like a system in place, but the processing power especially will completely shift from CPU to an NPU. So the neural processing units will make AI available at the client, and these really consume minimum energy. So there's a lot of sustainability efforts and also low cost energy devices. So this will really create a lot of opportunities in the market on the variables. So like whatever you were doing before, I think there will be definitely big changes. Like we are still carrying devices like phones. I think in the next 10 years we might see the like really changing that industry completely. Like, why do we need a phone if we are really immersed into the technology? So again, like this is a really exciting to be alive and see all those changes. But from retail to manufacturing, from pharmaceutical to really automotive, like this is gonna like AI will be a key big defining moment. One thing I want to highlight is education. I think one of the things when I go to this like conferences, many people come and ask, specifically they ask the questions for their kids. So they say like, okay, I have a 15-year-old 16-year-old who will make a college decision. Like what's like the future look like from that business perspective, which degree they should get, and like this is the biggest, I think, disruption will happen in the next 5 years, because education needs to completely change. You cannot fight against the like the education disruption with GPTs today, but moreover, especially after generative AI, we will see the adaptive AI solutions. So teacher will be a side on the guide on the side, and then like really provide some tools and like how to use the AI effectively to learn more. Because if the world's information is like in your finger, again, we call it the fingertips because of the keyboard. Now it's almost embedded in your mind. Do you really need to memorize the things that doesn't really add up? But like you have to learn how to learn new things with the power of AI. And I think this will change the college system. This will change the future of jobs, and many jobs will be replaced or really like enhanced with AI. So we have to be ready for that future.
We do, and the time to get ready is now. And speaking of getting ready, you've authored many books over the years on technology and futurism and the future. Do you have anything cooking at the moment? Any big ideas or insights you're desperate to get down in the written word?
Absolutely. So one of the latest works I'm working on is the distributed artificial intelligence, and this term is I had a book on blockchain and AI, but
Mm,
it's really the time both of those technologies. When I authored the book like 5 years back, it was the early years, and again, like I have a book on Web 3.0, which I authored in 2011, and we have seen that come to fruition maybe 2020s, so like almost 10 years later. So I think blockchain and AI is a topic that I want like to focus on more and more, because one of the critical things with AI and especially AGI will be tracing the decision making process. And I
mm,
believe this is a really critical thing for humanity, because at a point of time we will delegate majority of our decisions to AI systems. But how do we know AI is making the right decision? Is it bias? Like imagine some scenarios where there's a decision made by AI which is completely immoral for the society, and we really want to go back and trace why AI made that decision, because it's all about training data sets. Like there's something wrong in the roots. We have to find that. So with the power of blockchain, I mean, for the listeners who are not familiar with blockchain, it's an immutable ledger. So if you know the accounting, like accounting never looks at the lump sum number. It adds up. Like I had $100, I gave away 10, so like it's minus 10. But like you don't change the 100 to a 90. You add, okay, now I have 90 as a result of this ledger transaction. So it's ins and outs, and then if you want to trace back in time, you can clearly see what was the money and like what was the transaction. Similarly, on AI, we have to really log everything. This, some people might think this is like waste of storage, waste of energy, but we really need it because we don't know the exact results of AI decision systems making process. Even today, like really few people can understand why a model generated this versus something else. So like and if it's a nuclear plant making a decision on like carbon emissions, this is like a life threatening situation. So if something goes wrong, which might, again, like these are all software solutions, we have to go back and trace it and find the root cause and change it. So I think like this is going to be inevitable. But again, I'm super excited about the distributed intelligence, especially on AI, and getting the power of Bitcoin process with the blockchain enhancements, because people know the cryptocurrency side, but blockchain is beyond the cryptocurrencies. And building that as a founding block for AI will definitely help humanity to be on a secure future for AI.
well, it's really exciting and really exciting to see the digital divide being closed here. It's sort of democratizing a lot of these technologies as well. Um,
Absolutely.
so you're of course responsible for AI marketing, and Gen AI has totally transformed already the business of content creators and marketing. I mean, this podcast, this live stream, for example, will be turned into a podcast, will be turned into short form blogs and posts, will be turned into uh, videos in different formats on 12 different platforms with the push of a button. I mean, it's unbelievable the technology that's out there today. How has it transformed your view of marketing and content creation and all the traditional things that marketeers have done?
Absolutely. And this is like an interesting era to live and really work on marketing, because as you said, the tools are coming every day with new features and capabilities that we weren't able to like do that much of precision marketing before. You
Mm,
can customize your messages really targeted to not your audience by individual, I think with the help of AI. And at Intel, we are also using this with our top customers and our partners, because mainly we are a partner through marketing. It's a B2B marketing that we heavily do. But some of the things that, like account-based marketing, for example, it was a term like 5 years ago when it's introduced, like you can target specific companies. Now, as I said, like we can target individuals and really tailor the message for them, and looking at their historical, let's say, what did they like, how do they want to consume the content, and which platforms they use most, and what's the likelihood of getting into their daily life without really creating additional burden. So it's really helping us. Personally, again, like, I mean, we have seen the GPTs pick up, but internally at Intel, we have iGPT, Intel GPT. So we use one of the open source models deployed internally. We have an amazing IT team. So it's really enabling my team to use the latest on AI, and not only on the content creation, but really how do we target the customers? How do we enable some of the solutions? And historically, you had to use multiple tools. I've seen like consolidation of the tools, as you said, like in order to crop a video, like generate multiple versions of it. It was taking a lot of agency time, agency work. Now it's like a really on your fingertips, just like creating that function. I think this will enable a lot of the marketing momentum, even more precise with the right data usage. I think it always goes back to the main thing. What do you know about your customers? I think the data is the king. Like I was telling this like 10 years ago, like if you want to have an AI strategy, start with your data strategy first, because if you don't have it, you will not have an AI strategy. So collecting the right information, like feeding a large language model, like 3 trillion parameters doesn't mean anything if you have a really focused area. So some of the industry trends are small language models, SLMs. Maybe you heard about that one. But like this is getting more precise for the companies like Intel, because we have a vast majority of data from like how our customers use the PCs, how do they use the data center solutions, how do they use GPUs, and we can really tailor some of our solutions with software on top of them and go back and market them clearly. So there's definitely a great era to work in this area, but specifically I will highlight data is still the most important thing for businesses to capture.
Well said. Give us a peek behind the curtain at Intel these days. You've continue to go through your own transformation with relatively new leadership and redoubling down on manufacturing in the U.S. and your strategy to really retain global leadership. It must be an exciting time to be at Intel.
It is an exciting time, and that's why I joined Intel almost a year ago. With our leadership, especially with Pat Gelsinger's vision, I'm super excited because there's a boom in the industry with AI, and Intel is exactly on the right investment area. And this is a big investment. So if you look at the foundry business, and for the listeners, foundry is like the factories where you develop and like manufacture the wafers and the chips that will go into every computer, every server on the planet. Intel was leading that historically. But again, I was in Taiwan last week, as I said, in Taiwan, semiconductor manufacturing company, TSMC, did a huge investment, not only for like working with Intel, but working with all the other companies in the world. And I think this is a great moment for Intel, because we are bringing back that muscle to Intel. So the company is going through a big transformation, and this transformation is going to be strategic in the short run. I will say like 3 years is not a long run, but we are opening a new factory in Ohio. We are doubling down our investments on Portland. We are again like expanding our infrastructure in Arizona. We are opening a new facility in Ireland and Germany. So this is really a big manufacturing is like investment, and it's not cheap. So if you look at our financials, and every quarter I dial in and I listen our CFO and our CEO explaining this to the market. But it is really there is no magic making and building some facilities. Like it takes a lot of effort, a lot of passion. But I think Intel is in the wrong direction. We are so excited about our foundry business picking up. It's signing up new customers. Like recently, Microsoft has agreed to use Intel Foundry to develop the new chips. And with AI,
Wow.
I think the companies wants to be more flexible on designing their own chips and giving it to a foundry like Intel in this case to develop for them. So, and Intel products is like Intel's corporate company, like Intel Foundry and Intel products. They are really today together. And the future, again, the company financially structured that way that now we report our financials separately, and which is helping the industry to understand like Intel is making a lot of profit on the product side, but because of the construction cost of our foundry, because of like building up a factory using like 1.8 nanometer device,
Mm.
these are really big investments that industry jointly with ASML, Intel is taking big steps to build that infrastructure, and it costs. So you will see there's a negative line item on our profitability on the foundry side, which is compensated by the Intel products. But again, just referring our CFO's timeline, like we will be the second biggest foundry after TSMC in the upcoming years. I'm super excited about that. So I think this is a muscle that Intel is regaining, especially in America. Like, I mean, developing chips which are local, produced in the United States is a great vision for a company, US-based company, which is producing global products. So I'm really excited about that. Same with the German foundry, same with the Ireland. So like we will provide what the European Union also requires as the chip making. And like this will definitely unpack a lot of opportunities for the industry and also for Intel.
Well, it's exciting to watch as a former electrical engineer and as a kid, watching Intel give birth to this whole industry. It's wonderful to see, another golden era unfolding with AI. It's really
Exactly.
exciting to watch as an industry observer. What about you personally? We like to think it's a quiet summer maybe and take some time off, but I suspect you are full steam ahead. There's not so much quiet happening on the AI front right now.
Absolutely. AI is literally taking a lot of the topics, including like just after this call, I will drop and head to airport. I'm flying to Databricks Data and AI Summit in San Francisco. I have a session tomorrow. But this summer is a special summer. I'm glad you asked the question because Olympics at Paris will happen.
Mm.
And Intel is the proud AI sponsor for the event. So one of the things I'm excited about, I will be in Paris, working heavily. We have created a lot of AI infused into Olympics. And like, again, I don't want to disclose anything. It will be a big surprise from opening ceremony to closing ceremony. There will be AI everywhere. And I think it's really aligned with our vision. So I'm super excited from July 26th to August 10th. There will be a huge excitement in the world, I think, because I love the Olympics. It really brings everyone, every gender, every nationality, every individual on the planet in one umbrella. And it's a really great show to watch. And this year specifically, it will be a show of AI and humanity. And we are really feeling great about Intel is the AI sponsor
Oh,
exclusively for
that's so
Olympics.
great. Well, given these difficult times globally, it's wonderful to see people come together and celebrate. And wonderful city, amazing Olympics, and AI. You couldn't ask for more than that. Thanks so much, Nuri, for the tour de force. Quite an overview of everything in a short half an hour, and I'll let you get off to your airplane.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone. Take